Good evening, San Bernardino. I just wanted to jump in tonight and follow up on all of your calls and requests. So we will give it a quick second to make sure that everybody can jump on and that I can see if you have any questions. So I hope you guys are having a good night. I know it's been pretty chilly today and there's a lot going on. So we will jump into it. Okay, so here we go. All right. So I wanted to reach out because so many of you were asking questions, wanted clarification about the special meeting that took place last night, and rightfully so. I know that when things come forward, especially meetings such as this, that it can cause chaos, and even more so, it causes confusion. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys understand from start to finish where we are and what's going on. So on Friday, there was a request made by Councilwoman Kim Canas for a special meeting. And within an hour, Councilman Sanchez Charette, as well as Councilwoman Ibarra, replied and said they would support the holding of this meeting. And when we got to the meeting on Monday, what you saw were questions from myself and Councilman Mario Flores as to what we were actually meeting on. When the agenda items were placed on there, there was a discussion as if these items were pertaining to a previous closed session agenda item. And that's not how it was agendized. So that brought up concerns. And that was where we were questioning truly what was the purpose of item number 2. More so than that, as you guys saw me question, was us bringing in the consultant to speak with us and how that contract was actually being fully executed, and not just signed, but paid and agendized. It had always been a practice, as I have seen, for the recruiter contract to come forward publicly, for this to be a publicly known process. And that was my expectation, that we were going to be coming back, as I said, on the 19th, so that we could vote as a council to do this. What side direction ended up being as we moved into closed session, again, is a concern for me. I'm not at all fully satisfied with everything, but what I was told is that there is an executed agreement with this consultant for the purpose of going for a nationwide search for a city manager. So what I want you to know, and some of you did have concerns about Councilman Sanchez and Charette trying to shut off the questions. That's not going to happen. What I promise you is that I will always seek clarification. I will make sure that my understanding is your understanding, because this is important. Transparency and accountability, especially when it comes to one of the biggest decisions of who is going to be running the city, is extremely important. Plus, making sure that there is consistency, that there is accuracy and truth in what we are presenting you and what we are doing. What will not happen is revisionist history, or anybody deciding that because things are happening behind closed doors, that we don't have to follow some type of process. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I had the clarification I needed before we moved through with everything. And it was, well into, for those, the one person that actually came in, it took quite a while to make sure that everybody was comfortable and I was satisfied with where we were before the consultant was even able to come into closed session. So rest assured, that will continue to be a practice for me to make sure that what I am asking, you guys are aware of. In addition to that, what is important to know is the stability of the city is extremely, extremely important. And you guys are wondering how we got to this point. Well, look, What I can tell you is what we know of the public record is that in October of last year, there was a unanimous vote of the council to hire Rochelle Clayton as the city manager. If you guys recall, I came to a meeting and said I support the council in this decision of what they're doing, that they agendized, and that contract had never come back. There were questions that were brought forward. I know Councilman Charette and Sanchez have been off on their journey of whatever information they were seeking, and so in that time, Rochelle Clayton was not made the permanent city manager. She remained as acting, and up until last night, she was the acting city manager, and that's where that was. That has always been a temporary position. She was hired into our city last year as the deputy city manager. And then, as you all know, the absolute train wreck of the last council's decision of hiring a city manager fell through in 7 months. And then here was Rochelle Clayton, who stepped in and stepped up for us in that capacity and said, look, as long as you need me, I'm here. And that is what she was able to do for us. And so I am beyond appreciative of her time, service, and dedication, especially as someone like her who's homegrown here and has a true heart for our community. So also know that she is still at City Hall. I ran into her today as I was running into my office, and so we snapped a quick pic, and I want you guys to know that Rochelle Clayton is still with the city of San Bernardino. What is very important to know, as some of you have called out, this was a 4-hour meeting. We started at 5:30, we left around 9:30, and that, while I can't get into specifics, what I want you to understand is that at no time was I prepared to acquiesce to anything that was not going to be in the best interest of our community. And from the conversations that were able to take place, neither were the majority of the council. And that's, I want you to understand how important that is, because we are fighting for this community to make sure that you are safe and secure in your livelihoods, that every employee in the city is safe and secure in their positions, and that the future of the city of San Bernardino is not going to be disrupted by politics. And these discussions may take a very long time, but they are necessary, and you cannot just railroad anything through anymore. And that is why by the time we came out of closed session, what I want you to understand is that I absolutely felt comfortable that what was agreed upon was in the best interest of our community. And I can't get into detail about what that means, but I hope in the years that we have spent together that you understand that the choice that was made, especially because I made the motion to do this, really secured a safe next day for the future of the city of San Bernardino, for all of our employees, and for us to be able to move forward in the process. And that may not have been the original desire or outcome for anybody, I don't know, but it is the reality of which we are living in today. And so I can't give you more today, but I know over time, and what I will tell you is as days go by, as weeks go by, that we'll be able to disclose a little bit more, and I will continue to update you. One thing, as you now know, we are entering into a period of looking for a permanent city manager, which so many of you know is just a repeat of history. I've been told something multiple times as I was newly elected in conversations with a council member that I have found troubling in their perspective, and I want to share this because this is important to me as going forward. There are council members who believe that not only does this community, that you residents, not even understand what a city manager does, you don't even know who our city manager is. Now, from your calls and texts and questions, I know that to be false. From the fact that I have walked and knocked on doors in every single ward in our community, I know that that's false. But I guess when you've never ever shown up to a meeting or attended or fought for anything in our community, and that can be your perspective, and that's fine. But what I know is that the community is very well of the turnover in the city manager's office. The business community is very well aware of the turnover in the city manager's office. The nonprofit community is very aware of the turnover in the city manager's office. The public sector inside the city and around our cities is very well aware of the turnover in the city manager's office. Everybody, the newspapers, is very aware, as you guys have seen today, 3 articles, of who the city manager is. And more importantly, more people than you think know exactly what the roles and responsibilities are for the most authoritative person that we have running our government. And there's a reason why this person is not an elected official and is hired among the majority of the council. So while some people may think our community is living under a rock, what I know is that you do care. And that's why it was so important for me to make sure that I address your concerns, because your opinion matters. And in this coming up process, what is very important for me is to make sure that your voices are heard, that you feel that what we're doing is in conjunction with what you are asking for the future of our city. And again, you are only as much a part of this conversation as you want to be. I am fighting extremely hard for you. And I have some other colleagues that are doing exactly the same. What I told you when I got elected was that I will work with those who want to work. I will expose those who need to be exposed. And that when I am up on the dais and behind closed doors, you are up on the dais and behind closed doors with me. And nothing erases the past. We have made a very professional agreement with each other that as we present ourselves as a mayor and council of the city of San Bernardino, we will do so with the utmost respect for each other. And as I was pleasantly told today by a couple of the news outlets, they were bored at our last meeting. I want you to be as professionally bored as possible, because the work of the city shouldn't be that complicated, and it shouldn't be an argument. Anything else within the confines of the laws that we need to iron out, that we truly need to fix, which is what you elected me to do, we will take that and we will do that amongst each other. And that is my absolute commitment to you. So I hope this is able to answer some of your questions. I hope this gives you ease in understanding that no, the city was not flipped upside down last night. We are still in a stable position. We are moving forward to ensure even more stability in the years to come. I can't predict the outcome of anybody that will end up being the permanent city manager, but what I will tell you is that my commitment is to make sure that we bring the absolute best of the best to our city, that we are committed to an open and transparent process amongst ourselves, and that just because people are behind closed doors, it does not exempt them from the rules and from the law. And they are finding that out extremely quickly in every conversation. And I appreciate those who are standing with integrity, morality, and the law. So thank you guys so much. Keep going. Look, you have to show up. Remember, people really believe, honestly, elected officials believe that you have no idea what's happening and who the players are. And in 6 years, we have done everything to make sure that you are engaged, that you are educated, and that you are empowered in our city. And that is not going away. That is only gaining daily more and more. And I am so impressed by how many of you are aware and want more answers. So thank you guys. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Larea. I will see you. Hopefully we have another meeting February 19th at the Feldham Library. Closed session starts at 4, open session starts at 5 p.m. You can definitely submit a public comment, and you can ask, and remember, as much as I can tell you within the confines of the Brown Act, I am absolutely going to do that. Just because I can't give you specifics on decisions does not mean that I or anybody else cannot ensure that you guys feel comfortable in what we are doing as your elected leadership. So keep fighting, San Bernardino, keep showing up, and keep asking questions. So I will see you in an agenda review very soon. Have a great night.